5 seconds or so. Seems alright, eh? How was New Year's and stuff?
New Year's was good. Just chilled with a couple of teammates.
Did you?
Yeah. Well, nothing else we could really do. I wasn't going out. There was clubs open downtown. I wasn't doing that. No. Too risky.
We had, you know, that new Sutton? This Sutton Hotel, like down by, we had that booked, and we were hoping to watch New Year's Eve, the ball drop at with all the screens in front of it, the Rogers Center. But everything was canceled, so we just canceled the room. There was no sense spending money.
I was about to say, save your money.
All right, we got a few on there. We got some over here. Let's get at her.
Hi everyone, it's Fran and Kevin with Ajuga, and tonight we have Clayton, who has come to join us to share a little bit about his journey through life so far, and tell us all about you.
Yeah. Struggles and
yeah.
what got you to where you are today?
Yeah. So you wanted to give us a little background on yourself, and
Like I said, my name's Clayton. Born and raised here in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Uniacke Square is my home. I am 23 years old. I study criminology at St. Mary's University. Went to high school at Citadel. And now I am trying to find my way. So
yeah.
Trying to find my way.
So do you have some struggles that maybe you could share with people out there that you've seen, endured? You know what I mean? Something.
Growing up, what was growing up like?
I think everyone just kind of has struggles growing up, no matter who you are. Some people don't announce it to people, but everyone has struggles.
I agree.
For me, growing up, had struggles a lot. My mom was a single parent. Like, my father was in my life, but my mom, she raised 4 by herself.
Yeah.
So that was a struggle. Other than some people, and also I grew up in poverty.
Mm-hmm.
So I come from a community of poverty, low income. So I couldn't really do everything I wanted to do as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't regret none of it, because it made me who I am today. My mother was a strong working woman, individual, and it kind of showed me that you got to be grateful for what you have.
Yeah.
So as a kid, I wanted to do multiple sports. I wanted to do basketball, football, baseball. I got the chances to do some of those.
Mm-hmm.
I even wanted to play hockey, but then my dad said, and my mom was like, well, if you do hockey, you can't do this one.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'm going to stick to this one, which was basketball.
Nice.
And so just like that kind of stuff was something that held me back from a lot of things, because I didn't have the funds to provide and be able to do that kind of sport. But also just groceries was sometimes low in my house.
Mm-hmm.
My mom was someone who wore her heart on her sleeve. She would always give my room up to one of my friends if they needed it.
Aww.
She would just say, you'll sleep with me tonight.
Really?
And so it's just my house was always, door was open, no matter who you were.
The safe house?
Yes.
Oh.
Wherever you were, the
I
door
love
was
that.
open.
Yeah.
So as a kid I grew up, I've seen lots of things, guns, drugs, crimes.
Yeah.
But I always say to people, I give credit to the drug dealers that I known as a kid.
Yeah.
Because those are the people who said to me, go play with the children. When I was a kid, I used to think go play with the children. I thought I wasn't cool enough.
Yeah.
But really it meant go play with the kids, because we don't know what could happen when you're around us. So they were looking out for me.
Wow.
And I always used to try and be a cool kid, because I was like, I want to be with these guys one day.
Mm-hmm.
But their way of being a role model to me was saying, this is not where you want to be. You don't want to be here when you're in your 20s or late teens. We want to see you succeed.
Wow.
Yeah.
So growing up, I lost loved ones. But my biggest struggle was just almost 3 years ago now. I lost my little cousin. He was murdered. And that one, that put me through hell.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's still feel you now.
He was, he was my road dog. I took him to Toronto one time with me, because he was saying he wanted to go to Toronto, see the lifestyle in Toronto.
Yeah.
Because I had friends and family in Toronto. We went there. I got him into the club when he was 18. I can say that now. I would never say that to his mom. But I got him in when he was 18. He was having the time of his life, and he was just enjoying it. And then when we came back to Halifax the following summer, things just popped off, and that just made me forget who I was. Forgot about everyone. I really just said, screw everyone, screw the world. I don't have a purpose here. So started drinking. I don't even really drink. Started smoking, and I had suicidal thoughts. Never attempted anything, but
They were there.
lots of thoughts were in my head.
Yeah.
Been there.
And now I have epilepsy. Growing up, I never had epilepsy.
Really?
Never had a seizure a day in my life until he died, because I wasn't really taking care of myself. I had it, like, just growing up in general. As a black male, you're told, just as a black in general, you're told to be tough.
Yep.
Don't say a word, just, move on. And so for me, always growing up, whenever, like, if I was ever picked on, or if I was ever made cry, it was just hold it in, keep moving forward.
Push it down.
So I tried that for so long, and then until when he died, that's when it just
It's all coming
it
out.
all came out of me. And I always tell people that now, like, no matter who you are, it's gonna come out of you one day. Like, you
You're
can
right.
you can think you're invincible, but you're not. I used to think I was Superman. I never believed in mental health until I actually started to face it. So that was my biggest struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah. How old was your cousin when that happened?
Just turned 19.
Just 19. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
And it was close to your community, you're saying, eh? Like, he lived in your community as well.
we lived in the same community.
You knew, like, everything that was going on about it. It was just
It was just
wrong place, wrong
wrong
day
place,
type of
wrong
thing.
time. It's crazy because I drove by, like, I seen the police. Like, when I was driving by, I wasn't in my community where it happened, but I drove by the area where it happened, and I was just seeing a bunch of police cars.
Yeah.
But I drove by, like, well, it wouldn't be none of my boys, like, because they don't hang up here. And so later on that day, I haven't heard a word from them. None of us did, and it was just kind of weird.
You kind of knew something was
And
up.
so
Yeah.
I called his mom, and I just, like, said, where are you? And then she told me the hospital.
Oh, gosh.
And that's when I was just like, yeah. So I went to the hospital. I seen him on the bed, and it wasn't him. It didn't look like him.
Wow.
And then after that, that's when I just started shaking. I just zoned out. Like, I zoned out for months. Not just that specific time and day. After that, I zoned
Lingering for a
out.
long
Like,
time.
I got into it with my dad. I was attempting to quit school. I fought with my father, my brother, all my brothers. Because it's crazy. Both my other brothers, they lost their two good friends to the same thing.
Oh, wow.
really?
Really?
So
Wow.
it was just like, this is
Wow.
weird. And they were trying to tell me, like, what I should do, like, how to, like, I'll never get over it,
No.
but how to,
Deal a little
deal
bit.
with the grief,
cope.
like, and so I wasn't listening to them because I was like, you're just, like, when you're talking to a sibling, it's just like, man, get out my face, like,
You don't know.
you're a
You don't
sibling,
know.
yeah, you're a sibling,
Yeah.
get out my face, but those are the ones that know the most about you,
That's right. Yeah.
and that will help you the most, and so, after that, when they were telling me everything, I was just like, man, I'm not hearing you. And then when I started having seizures, my older brother, one time he came in my room, and I was sleeping by myself. He came in my room just like whispering, he's saying, Trey. And I'm like, yo, why are you in my room at 6 a.m? He's like, I'm just checking to see if you're still breathing, like if you're still alive, because you have seizures while you're sleeping. Because I wasn't taking my medication at the time, because I just didn't care for nothing. And then when we seen someone on the news from another black community die from a seizure in his sleep, I had a seizure in my sleep as well, but I'm still here.
Wow.
And then that just kind of
Scary.
woke me up to be like, take your medication, because epilepsy is serious.
Yeah.
And so I started taking my medication. Things just started to, like, get a bit better. And I was still asking, like, what is my purpose? Like, what is my purpose of being here? So one day I went to church, because everyone would be like, talk to someone. And I tried therapy, but the person I went to couldn't really relate to the things I would say.
Yeah.
And so
That
I went to
happens a
church.
lot.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
I just went to church, and everything the pastor was saying to me was just like a bunch of smacks to the face, but in like a good way.
Like
I
a
was
little
just
wake
like,
up.
I was just like, I didn't tell this man to say none of this, but this is
Yeah.
what is being said. And so I just felt like it was directly towards me. And then
That was your turning point.
I kind of just woke up from there, and then I won a human rights award. I won a peace medal,
Yeah.
and things just started to
There's
brighten
a
up.
lot of good things you've done since
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
And so, like,
Yeah.
I was just,
You
I guess I was on to something.
Right.
I guess. So,
Yeah.
and then after that, things just started to get better. Like, I still have my days where I, don't want to talk, but
But
just
that's being human too,
Yeah.
right? You know what I mean? And that's okay. I think those days are important too,
Yeah.
right? You grow a
Everyone
little
has
bit.
those
Yeah,
kind
you
of
grow a
days.
little bit in those days, right? So, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Tell us about
Yeah, go ahead.
if you don't mind, tell us about the turning point, because I know you've done a lot of great things. Like recently you did a collab with East Coast Lifestyle. You did a t-shirt for the black community.
hmm
You've done a lot of things. I know, maybe tell the people viewing about your father's, it's 902 Man Up.
Yeah.
And I know you work for that. Don't you do something along with shoes? You deliver shoes and stuff too, or?
Well, I did like I just had a bunch of shoes one time in my closet because like I love sneakers.
Yeah.
And so like
You deliver them to homeless.
I didn't want to,
Yeah.
I didn't want to throw the shoes out. So it was like, why not just give this to someone? And then there was a time where my organization, Game Changers 902, we got a phone call from someone.
Yeah.
And they said they have a connection to get shoes that aren't being like sold from a store. And so after that, like, it's crazy because like the stores, like, when they have stuff that they don't sell, they just look to toss it out.
Oh, really?
So
Okay.
we were lucky that
Wow.
we knew someone who could get us an inside scoop.
Mm-hmm.
And then after we had hundreds of shoes, clothing, and everything,
Wow.
we packed the trunks with all the shoes,
Mhm.
the clothes, and everything. And I went driving along Gottingen because there's a Salvation Army,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like, yo, let me park here, put everything out, and then I had a big lineup of people who just wanted shoes. And I
Oh,
even
that's
gave them to
great.
some people in my community because it's just like I come from a low-income community.
Mhm.
Everyone will take winter boots.
Mm-hmm.
People will take sandals. People will take just anything because
Mhm.
they're just grateful for the things that they can get.
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
You just gave them out and just
yeah.
starved.
I ain't gonna throw it out because it's like, why would I do that if I know someone really
Could use it.
needs it?
Yeah, exactly, right?
I gave up the shoes and stuff, and I wrote my dad's organization, 902 Man Up. Like I said, that started in 2016 due to some gun violence,
Mm-hmm.
and my dad just felt he had to play a bigger role, not just for me as a like him and me being his son. He just thought like the way my dad is, he treats the community, like everyone from the community, as his kids, because that's just the kind of person he is.
That's nice. Yeah.
And so they started that, him and a group of friends,
Mm-hmm.
and ever since then they just been kind of taking off with things on how they can provide for communities. They
I
did
love that.
back to school drives for kids for like school supplies. They did community barbecues and things like that. So that was great.
Nice.
I started, me and two others, Dorico Simons and Kate McDonald, started Game Changers 902.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty a well-known nonprofit
Yeah, that's-
organization
yeah.
thing around here.
Yeah.
We took on, so that started from Parliament Hill. That's where that started.
Really?
I was given the opportunity to go to Parliament Hill for free. Everything
Yeah.
was paid for. It was all taken care of because of my dad's organization, 902 Man Up.
Mm-hmm.
So I was given the opportunity to go there and meet with ministers about racism.
Wow.
Talk to them about the things that a regular black child faces on the regular.
Mm-hmm.
So as I got there, I was there for about, I think, 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
So the first 3 days were great. Had
Yeah.
the time of my life in
Mhm.
Ottawa. Got to meet a lot of new people and hear about their stories, what they do.
Yeah.
And then on the last day, that was our chance to go visit Parliament Hill.
Mm-hmm.
So none of us ever been to Parliament Hill.
Mm-hmm.
So we were all so excited, like, oh my
Oh,
God,
of
we're going
course.
to
Yeah,
Parliament
that's a,
Hill.
that's a huge
Yeah.
deal.
Like, let's
Yeah.
do this. Like,
Yeah.
a group of black folks go
Yeah.
to Parliament Hill.
It's
Like,
amazing.
a
Yeah.
lot of young adults.
Yeah.
And so as we were going, we get there, we walk through, we're just like, oh my gosh, like our eyes are lit up because it's Parliament Hill.
Mm-hmm.
The home for everybody.
Yeah.
So long story short, as we get through security and everything, we go up to the third floor. That's where a lot of us were put. And then another group of us were upstairs on the fourth floor in like the cafeteria.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So while folks were in the cafeteria, like young adults, teenagers, early 20s, probably, a lot of us were upstairs talking. It's a cafeteria, so, you know,
That's what
we're
you do.
just talking,
Yeah.
making a little bit of noise because
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
just so excited
Yeah,
about
of
being at
course.
Parliament Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so someone comes out, looks, sees a group of black kids, and it goes back towards, like, I don't know where they went, back towards, like, their office. And then they come out again, took a picture, sent it downstairs to the security. And then after that, security guard came upstairs, right off rip. Wouldn't even give us a warning, be like, hey, you gotta quiet down, I'm gonna ask you to get off this floor.
Yeah.
It was just like, hey, you guys gotta leave, you guys are getting kicked out.
Just like that.
And so on
Wow.
the third floor, I was on the third floor, I was doing a interview with CPAC. They were asking me what was my experience of being in Ottawa for this conference and being at Parliament Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I'm having the time of my life. I
Yeah.
love this.
Yeah.
And then, so the security guard got off the elevator. And so I was on that floor with, like, chaperones.
Okay.
And so he went to one of the chaperones, like, organizers. He was like, hey, I'm not trying to be rude or I'm not trying to sound racist or anything. But the dark-skinned kids on the fourth floor got to leave. And so when I heard that,
What?
like, you know when someone says, oh, I'm not trying to be rude or anything,
Yeah.
they're going to say something
Right.
rude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when I heard that, I literally just, like, unclipped the mic, took it off me, and I just walked over to him. I was like, can you repeat that? And then he started to, like, stutter, freeze up, and, like, back up from me. And then, like, everyone was just, like, looking at him like, what did you just say?
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't say it because he knows what he
Yeah,
just
yeah,
said
Yeah.
wasn't right.
Yeah, it was inappropriate by far. Yeah.
So when he said that, that kind of just, that blew my mind. I was like, whoa.
It's on Parliament Hill too. Like,
I'm
this
like-
is crazy.
I'm
Like,
like,
this
whoa.
is unheard of. Yeah.
I'm here
Yeah.
to give my feelings and my thoughts about racism.
Yeah.
And then while I'm here,
And you're
I
treated
face-
like that.
You face
I
it.
face
Like
racism.
right on.
Yeah.
Like dead on. Yeah. Like
And
that's
so
crazy.
after that, I was just like, what do I do?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, first of all, I can't be here. So I was like, let me, like, leave and walk back to my hotel.
Mhm.
I left by myself. Like, I didn't
Yeah.
want to be there.
Yeah.
When I got downstairs, I seen the same security guard who gave us that comment.
Mhm.
He went and put a hat on. And I was just like, this guy's a goof.
Yeah.
You're trying to hide yourself now
Oh,
because
okay.
we all know what you just said. And I was
Mhm.
just like, man, that's how you know what you did was wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I got back to my hotel room, first thing I did, I called my dad. Like, he left. He was there with me, but he left that day because he had to get back to Halifax because it was Black History Month.
Right.
Okay.
And so he didn't get the chance to come to Parliament. He was leaving, and as I called him, he was boarding onto the plane.
Mhm.
And I was like, Dad, I was like, you don't want to know what just happened. He was like, what, buddy, you okay? I'm like, I just faced racism at Parliament Hill. And I was like, what do I do? He was like, man. So I told him, like, what happened. He was like, oh, he's like, you'll do the right thing, and then click. So I'm like, my dad just hung up in my ear while I'm trying to ask him a question on what do I do.
Yeah.
And he hung up, and I was just like, well, that was no help.
Mm.
So I was just staring at the ceiling, and then I was just like, you know what? Let me tell social media what happened.
Yeah.
I put it all on my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram, all that kind of stuff, and then it just, like, blew up.
Did it? Yeah.
Right
I
after
can
that,
imagine.
it blew up. And
Yeah.
So the next morning, I came home to Halifax. After that, that's when I knew cell phones were, like, tapped. They're
Yeah.
watching you. Once I got back to Halifax, CTV called me, national TV called me, all the places called me, like, Trey, can we do an interview? And I was just like, how do you get my number?
Yeah.
How do you know where I'm at?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what is
yeah.
going on?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, after that, I was just doing interviews, and, like, Andy Fillmore, that's someone who is liberal, works with Justin Trudeau.
Mhm.
He, like, I met him way before this all happened. He's someone who gave me, like, commitment. Like, he was saying, I'll look to help you as much as I can.
Mhm.
And so he kind of took that back to the House of Commons, and announced what happened to me at Parliament Hill. And then that's what kind of made it even more bigger. And then I was
Wow.
like, they were like, what are you looking for in return? I said, apology.
Yeah.
But I said an apology, not by paper.
That's good.
Yeah, yeah.
I said, not by paper, not by an email.
Yeah.
I want Justin Trudeau to come here to Halifax, see me face to face, man to man, and say sorry and give me an apology.
Yeah.
And so after that, like, a couple weeks went by, like, I think 1 or 2,
Mhm.
and then boom, there it was. Justin Trudeau was coming to Halifax to apologize.
Weird.
And they said to me, they were like, Trey, how do you want it done? Do you want it done like in front of everyone, or do you want to take him to a room where it's just you and a few others, like, and talk about what happened?
Yeah.
So at first I was thinking, like, I'm gonna do it with all of the community, but then I was like, how will everyone see it? Like, will there be other topics brought up to Justin Trudeau? Because if you get the chance to meet the Prime Minister,
Of course,
they're
yeah.
gonna talk about climate change.
Yeah.
They're gonna talk about all a bunch of other stuff that
Yeah.
we're facing here in Canada.
Yeah.
I was like, let me do it my way. I'm gonna pick the people I want in the room, and we're gonna sit down and have a one-on-one conversation
It's
with
a
Justin
good call,
Trudeau.
I think, yeah. Yeah.
So then after that, we did that.
What was that like?
That was when he first walked in, like, I think he was expecting kind of a smile from me.
Yeah.
I was just sitting there like I'm not happy with you.
Of
Like,
course,
I'm not
yeah.
I'm not putting it all on. Like, a lot of people are saying to me, Trey, Justin Trudeau he's full of BS. And I was like, okay, let me experience mine. Let me get a chance to meet with Justin Trudeau and figure out what he's like.
Yeah.
And so after that, when I got the chance to meet with him, it got right off rip. Arm sleeves were rolled up, like, because he came in, hello guys. I was like, no, let's get straight to business.
Yeah.
Like, do you know how we feel from what just happened at Parliament Hill? And then that kind of just changed his whole like mood. He was just like, he went from hey to like, and then we started talking. Things got personal. Like, he started bringing in personal stories. Like, I know politics are full of, you know, they can change the way things are being said and how it's done. But I honestly felt like he understood, because he literally came within as fast as possible. And then no Prime Minister ever came to Nova Scotia to visit the Black Cultural Center. That's where our meeting was held.
Wow.
And the Black Cultural Center shows all the history of how Nova Scotia was made through the blacks and where they came from and everything like that. No Prime Minister has ever came there. That's a historical building in Canada. Like, you should want to see that, because the first set of blacks came here to Nova Scotia.
Wow.
Okay.
From the
Really?
States, from like slavery, and so they came here to Nova Scotia.
Okay.
So he got the chance to see that place.
Yeah.
And then it was just kind of, after that, my dad said to me, he was like, you're not Trey no more. I was like, what do you mean? You're still the same person. He's like, no, when people see your name now, it's Trey in like bold letters.
Yeah.
Because of what you just did.
That's huge.
You just made a big
Huge.
change to the way things are being dealt with. He was like, and like, I had people tell me, people from Parliament say, there was racism faced at Parliament before, but no one ever had the guts to bring it up and actually request and get what they want. And so Parliament Hill
you took
just,
it next level. You
Yeah.
got the president flying out.
Yeah.
Or the
Yeah.
Prime Minister, I should say.
yeah.
So let me
Flying
ask you
out to
this:
the phone,
was your dad proud of you? Because where he hung up on you after you're trying to explain what just happened, like, how did your dad, like, you know what I mean? Was he proud of the way you handled it?
He was very, my dad, he like, after that happened, my dad was predicting everything that was gonna happen.
Oh, okay.
Really?
So
Okay.
I was thinking, like, Dad, you're not even, you're talking crazy right now.
Yeah.
Because it's coming from your father.
Yeah.
You're hearing you right now.
Yeah.
Then, a couple days later, I'm sitting in the same spot. My dad said, this is where you'll be soon. I'm like, whoa, okay, my dad can predict my future right now.
Oh my
Like,
God,
this
my
is
dad,
kind of creepy.
yeah.
He was very proud.
Oh, good.
Because,
Because he should be.
He
Because
was
that's
just saying,
amazing.
like, he would say, like, I don't have to, be that father who holds your hand and be like, let's do it this way.
Yeah.
Like, whenever it comes to choices, my dad will just be like, I'm here. But he'll be like, I'm over here. I'm on this side. I'm not in that spotlight with you. You're going to be the man that you are to make that choice.
Nice.
And so, like,
You
that's what he
be
always tells
you.
me. Yeah.
You do you, and he's
Yeah.
there to support you.
I love that.
What about Mom? How's Mom feel about that?
Mom,
she must have.
she's always smiling. Like,
Yeah.
she's just always happy. Because, like,
She must have been so proud.
That's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
who my mom is. She's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
my boy.
Yeah.
And then after, like, everyone would be asking her, like, how does it feel to be, like, your
Trey's
son
mom.
has been making, your
Trey's
son has been
mom.
making a
Yeah.
bunch of big changes.
Yeah.
And so, like, till this day, she'll just be like, I'm proud of whatever he does. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
even if it's a negative thing, I'm still there to support him and help him become even better than what he was before. And so, my parents have always been
I'm sure
trying with me.
they were worried about you at one point because you could have went you went the wrong direction
Yeah.
for a couple months, but
Yeah, you
you
pulled it
grabbed
back
a
in.
hold of yourself
Yeah.
and what you've
Yeah.
done, like what you're doing for communities and your own community that you grew up in, staying close. It's like amazing. We applaud you for that. It's
Oh, for sure. We're like,
fantastic.
yeah, we're grateful that you're here with us, just to share, and share it with everybody here who's listening. Like, this is an amazing story. Like, and he's only 23. Like, that's
23
crazy,
years old, yeah.
right?
I
But
get that a lot.
Yeah, you do, right? I could imagine. Like no 23-year-old has the guts. I could use another word, you know what I mean, to really call out and request like an apology
Like,
from the Prime Minister of Canada.
I think,
Like, that's amazing.
That's something I try to do the most, is just be a role model.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, a lot of people say, Trey, you're an activist, but I'm like, no, I just feel like I'm doing what's right. Like, I don't want to be categorized as activist.
That's
because
right.
It's just like,
You just Trey.
yeah, I'm just Trey,
You're just
trying to
Trey.
be Trey. This
Yeah.
is who I always was,
Yeah.
like, and so, like, when I see kids, like, went back to my little cousin being killed, like, he was he would even hang with, like, the younger folks just to be like, yo, guys, like, what's up? I got you if you need anything.
Oh.
And just keep them company because, like, you know, how, like I said, I wanted to hang with people a little older than me when I was younger.
Of course, yes.
And so he would allow them to come over to his house, play video games.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he died, like, the younger kids didn't really know what to do.
Yeah.
And so his mom said to me one time, can you come and have an open chat with the younger folks?
Oh, good.
And so I went. I was like, this ain't gonna do nothing. They don't want to listen to me.
Yeah.
And so when I first started to talk about the things I was feeling, how I felt like when he passed, the kids were saying to me after, like, I feel the same way.
Aww.
Like, I'm going through this too. Like, what do I do? And then I was just like, whoa.
Nice.
I guess it really just takes one person to take that step.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
others will take that step with you. And I kind of, the person I always use as my, like, role model is my best friend, Lindell, plays in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And,
really?
like,
Nice.
he's just made so much accomplishments for Nova Scotia, putting, like, basketball on the map, that there are athletes here in Nova Scotia that can hoop. And so I just kind of used him, like, well, if he can do it, I'm going to do it. But my way is just a different way.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, like, I want to go to law school. So I just got to have the same kind of mentality that he had to become an NBA player and just use that as my way to get in law school.
Law school,
That's beautiful,
absolutely.
yeah.
And so
Perfect,
then I guess that was just, like, for me with the kids, what they see me doing, they were just like, well, Trey, I feel the same way. I'm going to do it too. So now I just want to be the role model that kids can look up to when they're a little bit older.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're coming to making decisions for university, like I always tell kids, I even have a little sister, I have nephews, nieces.
Mm-hmm.
I say, don't just focus on one goal.
Yeah.
Like, that's your main,
Mm-hmm.
but you're always going to see a different level. You're going to find different stages as
Mm.
you're going to that goal. Like, yes, put it at the top of the line.
Yeah.
But try different things. Try and expand. Try networking.
Mm-hmm.
Make new friends. Step out of your comfort zone to find a new comfort zone. And so I just say to kids, walk through as many open doors as you can, because it will tell you whether you like it or you don't.
Nice.
And, like, volunteer work. That's going to tell you if you want a job sitting at a desk or if you want a job outreaching to people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I say, just do as much as you can while you grow.
There's no better feeling than helping others, right? That's what
That's
emotionally gives you.
that gives me my energy.
Yeah.
Just helping other people. And, like, I work for a shelter right now, and it's just helping other people every day. I don't have a problem with that.
No.
Nice.
No, and I'm sure they appreciate the ones
We're
that you
gonna-
do help,
Yeah,
right?
they look at me like, man, you got you got the guts, you have good patience. I'm just like, man, I
You
just
just try.
care for people.
There's a
Yeah,
lot of
that's
people
right.
talking here. That's
Yeah.
cool. We'll get to those later. But if you got one thing that you could say, I think we're going to shut it down because we're getting there for time. But if you got one thing you could say to people that are experiencing darkness, that are not yet come out of it and stuff, what do you want to say to them? What's the key? What's your key?
My way, what I would say to people is be yourself for yourself and nobody else. Because
Oh, I love that.
when you're being yourself, you're gonna find what you like, what you enjoy. Because a lot of people grow up, they'll try and be like that star on TV.
Yeah.
You'll like it for a little bit, but then you're like, I don't like
No.
being like this person.
You
I
wanna
want
be-
you want to make your own impact as yourself. You want to be remembered as who you are, not
That's right.
Absolutely.
oh, you're similar to this
Yeah,
person.
a copycat of, yeah.
Yeah,
I love
you-
that. That's good.
Be yourself
Even
for
the
yourself.
people in the neighborhood, if you see yourself starting to try to be somebody else, it just takes you down a rabbit hole.
When you look in the mirror, you don't see a reflection of someone else. You see a reflection of yourself.
That's
And
right.
I love that.
That's right.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
that's a good message
So-
right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, a reflection of yourself. Yeah, that's right.
That's how it is.
Everybody that's here with the Ajuga Tribe, follow along 902 Game Changers.
Game Changers 902.
Game
and
Changers
then
902 Instagram, and
That's us.
yeah, check
Appreciate
out
it.
Trey. Thanks
Yeah.
for
Thank you all for joining us here, and we are so honored that you came and joined us
Thanks for
today.
having me.
Trey.
All right.
Appreciate it.
all right.
Take care.
Thank